Hey guys, I am going to do a part 2 of my spoiler video. You might have seen that we only got one spoiler this week. I think they're doing like every 2 weeks they're going to drop like 5 or so spoilers. This week I'm going to do a video on this spoiler, and there's 3 spoilers that I forgot to do in my last video because they were pretty old spoilers. So Cursed Iron, Gift of the Frog, and Swap are the 3 other spoilers. So same as last video, I'm only going to be reviewing these for limited play. I don't really do much in Constructed, and there's enough videos about Constructed play that they can cover that information. So I'm going to start out with the new spoiler. So City of Glass, it's a unique site. It doesn't provide any threshold, and basically it says if you have at least 1 air threshold, you can activate it, and it provides 2 mana instead of 1 for the rest of the game is what I'm reading this as, and if it is damaged at any point, then it is destroyed. I think how this works is it has to take some amount of actual damage. So like Wizard's Den just says that if it's successfully attacked, then you discard the card. So something that has happened to me is that a Grandmaster Wizard with 0 power has attacked my Wizard's Den, and you actually do have to discard in that situation. I think with City of Glass it has to be 1 damage. I don't think a 0 power minion can destroy this. It's kind of weird because sites don't actually get damaged, but I'm assuming that if it's successfully attacked by something with at least 1 power, then it is considered damaged and it breaks. I assume it's replaced by a rubble. Obviously you can't play this unless you have air in your deck. So I'm already super low on colorless sites, but I'm actually not quite as low as I used to be. So in limited, normally we're playing 2 elements, splashing a 3rd element. So it's like 5 fire, 5 water, 2 earth, for example, and you're splashing like 1 to 3 max earth cards in that situation. And that's pretty much the norm, but in some cases you might not be splashing, and this might be able to make your deck. As soon as you have something that's triple threshold that you want in your deck, then you really need to have 6 sites of that element. Say that you're playing 2 elements and it's fire and air. Realistically, you could play 5 fire, 5 air, and then have 2 like utility sites. So you could even be playing like an off element site that has some big benefit like this. But realistically, I mean, if you don't have anything that's like super good, then you're probably just playing 6 and 6 and not doing anything weird like this site. My guess is that people are gonna take this a lot higher than me because I'm just pretty low on colorless sites. Also, I should point out that this provides 1 mana the turn that it enters, and then if you activate it, then the next turn it will provide 2 mana. So really, it's kind of awkward to set up because you have to know the turn before that you want to activate it for next turn. So if it's turn 3 and you have a 4-drop that you want to play, on turn 2 you have to activate this and say next turn it's going to provide 2 mana. So that does give them a window to destroy it before you ever actually get the mana. So that makes me really not that interested in this card. I think I'm actually going to start off as like a D on this, and I really doubt that I'm ever going to play this because other people are probably going to take it, and I'm just never even going to have the option to put this in a deck. But even if I do, I'm probably just going to prioritize having my threshold. I'm just going to play Aspire instead of this, probably. Also, the point of the game that this would hypothetically be good is like turns 1 through 4, when that extra 1 mana is really going to matter and you can ramp something out early and get ahead of your opponent that way. Having this as one of your first 3 sites is just not going to be good. As a limited player, you really need to have your threshold under you. In Constructed, I could maybe see it because they don't really have that many threshold issues, but even then, like in Constructed decks, people are still really picky about the colorless sites that they play. Like I've seen Deathspeaker lists that don't have Geistwood in them. And the reason that towers are so good is that you can play like a turn 1 Spectral Stalker, or you can play a turn 2 Plumed Pegasus. That's just going to be really, really hard to do. Like in my opening hand is not where I want to see colorless sites, and this is when it's going to be good. So that just means that it's not going to be good. So kind of sad. Looks really cool, but probably isn't very good. All right, Cursed Iron is next. It's a 2 mana aura, 1 fire threshold. It's elite, and it says artifacts here can't be dropped, and each causes its bearer to lose 1 life at the end of each turn. It is each turn. That's a lot, but they have to have auras and they have to be carrying them, and they can just move away, and none of that sounds good at all in limited. So this is a constructed card, obviously. I'm really glad it's at elite. I wish it was at unique, honestly, because I never want to see this card in a pack. But yeah, I would give this an F. I don't think there's any chance that that's going to change when the set comes out. Not too much to say there. All right, and this is probably my favorite card that they've spoiled so far. Gift of the Frog. Obviously, I'm Froggy Mago, so I'm a little bit biased, but it is 2 mana, double water threshold for an ordinary magic, and you summon a frog to another ally and draw a spell. So if you don't have any other allies, you can still cast this because it doesn't say target, so it can just be 2 mana draw a spell, but obviously you want to get the frog. It's pretty easy to get the frog, but realistically, if you have no minions in play and you have nothing else to cast, you're just going to cast this to draw a card every single time. So that makes it just pretty great that you can just always cast it, and most of the time you're going to get the frog, but this is always just something that you can do. How does it compare to the other cantrips that we've seen in other sets? So like Power of Flight and Grievous Insult were probably the two best 2 mana cantrips at the lower rarities, and I think this one's actually kind of better than those. In that set, having blockers was really important because there were Lance tokens sitting around that you could just get blown out if you don't have a blocker, and this is just like a super expendable blocker, so I kind of wish this was in Arthurian Legends because it would have been absolutely amazing in that set. But if the set is more like beta, I mean, it's still going to be really good. It's going to be like 2 mana, maybe save your thing from getting eaten, draw a spell. That's pretty nice. Or it's just like 2 mana, draw a spell and gain 3 to 5 life. That's really good. Yeah, I think this looks awesome. It might be kind of hard to find room in your deck for this. Like, you want to have 17 minions in your deck, so you only want to have 7 magics. And you really want those 7 magics to be like removal spells. So I don't think this is actually going to be like that high. It's probably going to get cut a lot of the time because it's kind of just air. But realistically, like, it does do a lot for 2 mana. I kind of hate that it's double water threshold. I don't really understand that. Like, frogs are amphibious. They don't need to be just in water, you know? Like, it literally says amphibian friend on the card. Oh man, the flavor text, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. That is true. It's gonna chump block for you. It's gonna save your minion's life. Yeah, I would give this like an A+ for flavor. I'll start off at like a C+ on this, and I don't think it's gonna move that much up, but it might move down to like a C- or like a C. It probably won't go below a C. C+ or C is where I think it's going to end up. All right, and then this card has probably gotten the most talk out of all the spoilers, but I haven't talked about it all yet. So 3 mana, double water threshold for swap. It's an exceptional magic of unconventional exchange. You swap the location of target minion or artifact with another target minion or artifact. If there is an artifact that's good, like a sword and shield that gets played a lot or something, then that part can be a pretty huge blowout. Otherwise, this is just kind of a weird movement thing, and honestly, from what we've seen so far in Limited, things that just move things but don't draw cards aren't very good. They're like D to D+ level cards, but this does move 2 of anything anywhere, so that's interesting. I don't know how good this is gonna be. I'm gonna start off as like a D+ on this card, and I probably just won't ever put it in a deck. But if it ends up being good, if people can prove to me that swap is worth a place in their deck, then I'll start drafting it. But like, you can never have more than one of these, and you need to have a bunch of minions, which isn't really a problem, but things just have to be like set up like kind of perfectly for you to even get like a solid 1-for-1 with this. And in some situations, like, you're swapping your minion with theirs, and then their minion's just going to be like in your territory, and I don't know. You have to set up so much for this card to work, but then it's not even like a huge blowout, I think, most of the time. So not too impressed with this. I do get that in Constructed this is going to do some cool things probably. All right, I think that's going to be it for this video. Pretty excited to see the Star City Games convention information. That's pretty exciting. I might go to the Las Vegas event, but yeah, I hope that it brings a bunch of new players into the game. That would be really cool. If any of those players are watching this, then you should play Limited because it's the best format in every game out there. We draft every Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can find a link to the Sorcerers at the Court Discord in the description of this video. And yeah, especially when Gothic comes out, like, I'm going to be drafting the crap out of Gothic, so come and join us there. All right, that's going to be it for this one. Bye, guys.